Hi, this is Yuri Elkaim from eatingforenergy.ca. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to fight a cold, how to get over an infection. And the reason I talk to you about this, I want to talk to you about this today, is that you may notice that I'm a little bit nasally. I'm not feeling 100% here. I've been battling something the last couple days. And if you know that I've started working again with the University of Toronto men's soccer program, and what's amazing is that one of the guys from BC, he came in this season like a week, 2 weeks ago. He was bedridden, he couldn't even move, drained of his energy, had a terrible fever, and almost half the team now has succumbed to that. And unfortunately, I think I've picked up something of what he may have gone through. But fortunately, my body was healthy enough to begin with that I didn't really succumb to the extent of what a lot of the other guys have been dealing with. And today I'd like to share with you some of the tactics that you can use if you're living, again, this is happening in Toronto right now, in Canada. There's a lot of stuff going around, and maybe in your part of the world it's happening as well. But just in general, here are some great tips I'm going to share with you today to fight a cold, get over immune system, boost your immune system so you can get back in top performance in no time. Cool? Awesome. All right, so first off, we have to look at when we get a cold, basically there's some type of imbalance within our blood pH, right, which makes microorganisms more dangerous within our blood. Or sometimes there's also an exogenous, an outside invader that comes into our body, and like a bug or some sort that stresses our immune system more than we're normally accustomed to, and that's what causes a whole flight of responses within the body, right? A fever is the body's natural way of increasing our body temperature to really kind of burn, if you want, these bacteria or viruses, because that's what a fever does. It's the body's natural way, its natural defense of heating itself to rid itself of things that shouldn't be there. So it's actually pretty cool. But let's say you just have a common cold, or this can even be a flu. I mean, this will really pertain to either scenario. The key is that you want to build your immune system, and then you want to boost it through specific foods and specific herbal supplements, right? So a couple of things we need to look at. First of all, we have to look at getting in a good source of protein, right? Now, proteins, why that's important, especially when you're sick, is that proteins form the base. They basically form the base of antibodies. Antibodies, which are those, that's what the immune system produces to scavenge around and fight disease from the body. That's those antibodies are proteins, right? So we need a good source of protein to form those antibodies. If you don't have a good source of protein, your abilities to build your immune system is going to be that much more compromised. So again, I'm not a huge advocate of meat, but recently I've been eating a lot more legumes, right? A lot of chickpeas, red beans, kidney beans, lentils, all sorts of good vegetarian staples when it comes to amino acids and protein. A lot of green leafy vegetables as well. And actually, having said that, here's what I'm starting my day with today. This is an excessive amount of wheatgrass juice. I just juiced this about 10 minutes ago. And this will give me about 3 ounces, which is a heck of a lot of wheatgrass. And I love wheatgrass. And wheatgrass, 1 ounce of that bad boy, is equivalent to about 2.5 pounds of green leafy vegetables. So it's pretty powerful stuff. I grow it on my deck. If you have access to get some, that's great. If you don't, then just get a lot of green leafies in, because they're very good sources of amino acids. So that's important. The proteins are important for all sorts of immune related responses, besides the antibody formation. But just remember that proteins are important, especially when you're sick, right? As with athletes, right? Athletes generally need more protein to build up their body. So do we if we're sick, right? We need to build our body. We need to build our defenses to make us healthy again. Another thing you want to look at are a good source of vitamins, right? So especially the antioxidant vitamins, the vitamins A, C, E, right? The huge ACE antioxidant vitamins. They're very important. Vitamin A especially is important because obviously it's an antioxidant. It helps in T-cell metabolism. T-cells are part of the immune system and the whole immune response. They also strengthen the mucous membranes, right? And that's important because when we cough and we produce a lot of mucus, a lot of that gets irritated. And that's why we produce mucus, because our mucous membranes, whether it be in our throats or wherever else, they get irritated. And as a defense mechanism, the body produces mucus, right? So vitamin A will help protect those membranes and keep us healthy. Vitamin C obviously is huge, right? Again, as you know, as I talk about it, eating for energy, I don't recommend too many supplements. I really like to approach health through a whole foods perspective, but in dire times, in times of need, got to bring in the reinforcements. Yesterday I'll chew on like 10 to 15 of these a day. They're 500 milligrams each. Again, vitamin C, you just pop it in, get it in as much as you can. You can really go to bowel tolerance. With vitamin C, you'll know when you've hit your limit because you're gonna be running to the bathroom fairly quickly. So vitamin C is huge. It's water soluble, so that every time you urinate or you go to the bathroom, it'll be flushed out of your system. So you want to have it throughout the day, not everything at once. Whereas vitamin A is more fat soluble, so it doesn't really matter when you take it. But again, you want to get these things through whole foods as much as possible. Again, the greens, you're going to get great amounts of vitamin A and vitamin C. Carrots, really just vegetables in general. Vitamin E obviously is very important as well, right? You can take this through, get through nuts and seeds, or you can take a supplemental form if you want. But again, the studies show that whole foods are your best source, the best way to get it into the body. So we talked about the minerals. We talked about the vitamins. Let's move on to the minerals. Some really key minerals. We're looking at zinc. Zinc is another. It's another antioxidant. It's very important again for reproduction of DNA. All these immune responses. It's just important, right? You need it. Selenium is another antioxidant, but it's also a form of glutathione peroxidase, which is hugely powerful inherent antioxidant that we have in our bodies. So selenium is very important. Again, the minerals. Again, just getting more whole foods. That's the key, right? So iron. Iron is obviously very important. Anything green, right? So the parsley's, the green leafy vegetables, the kales, all that good stuff. Anything red, watermelon, raspberries, strawberries, very good sources of iron. So those are some key minerals that you want to look at getting as well. Let's look at some ways to boost your immune system. So when we're talking about boosting the immune system, now we're talking about really revving it up to the next level. And this is where a lot of people start. We need healthy fatty acids, right? So this is a fish oil. I'm a big proponent of fish oil. It's great. If you don't, if you're 100% vegan, you're not going to go into fish oil at all, that's fine. Get a flax oil, get spirulina in, get some type of high quality omega-3. The fish oils are huge because, again, they have anti-inflammatory properties. That's huge, right? Because when the body is in a state of, it's in a state of stress, there's inflammation, the whole bit. We don't need that. Antibody production it helps with, anti-inflammation. It's very, very important. Okay, now let's move on to the immune boosters. Immune boosters such as garlic, right? Garlic here. You can have one of these a day if you want. It's antibacterial, antiviral. It's the body's, it's food's, the natural antibiotic in our food supply. It's amazing. So good. And it tastes good. It adds flavors to your foods. Again, you want to have it raw if you can, right? When you have it raw, it has all the properties. When you cook it, steam it, you lose some of those properties. Another big one that I use is oregano oil. And this is very, very powerful stuff. It's from obviously the oregano spice they use for meat, sauces or pasta dishes, stuff like that. All you need is a drop or two. Drop it in a shot of water. Shoot it back a couple times a day. This thing is antiviral, antibacterial, anti-everything, and it boosts your immune system. Some other things that a lot of people use are things like astragalus, even echinacea. But with echinacea, be careful. You don't want to use it for more than about a week because then it actually reverses and kind of stresses the immune system even more, right? So when we're looking at dealing with a cold, we're looking at reducing the amount of stress in the body. That includes reducing your amount of exercise and really being, aware of rest, right? Getting lots of rest and getting plenty of water, right? Plenty of fluids. And that's the key, right? You're in a state of heightened stress, heightened alert. You have to rest. You need to strengthen your immune system, get it strong, so that you can bounce back a little for you. And I'm sorry if I've been a little bit all over the map. I'm not as coherent as I normally am. But again, I'm just on the tail end of whatever I've been fighting. And I hope these tips have helped you out. If you want more great information, and again, it's really from about a day-to-day healthy eating perspective. You won't have to deal with these things as much as other people do. Eating for Energy is the book you want to get. Eatingforenergy.ca is the website. Check it out. It'll change your life. Okay? So I'll talk to you soon. Keep healthy. Remember, eat alive and you will thrive.